Legendary writer-producer Stan Berkowitz joins us today for an epic conversation. The Superboy reunion continues. Super excited, guys. Let's do it. Welcome to the show, sir. I really appreciate it. It's an absolute honor.
Thank you. Very glad to be here. This is my wife, Tegan Clive. This is Chris Jones.
Hello, Miss Tegan. Nice to meet you.
Hello. Beautiful set.
Chris is in El
Thank you so much.
So handsome. You didn't tell me how handsome you are. Wow.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Congrats to you both. You're a real life super couple.
Good luck.
Tegan is also an actress. If you when you have a chance, look up Tegan Clive, C-L-I-V-E. Alienator. She did a movie with Ferrigno called Sinbad. She has a small part in Jumpin' Jack Flash. So yeah, ton of work.
Wow, that's awesome, man.
One hell of a woman on any planet.
Well, I'll definitely check out Alienator. I did see Sinbad. I did see Jumping Jack Flash. I had no idea that this was your wife. So congratulations. You're a very lucky man, Mr. Stan. We're already learning stuff about you. So take us back. So where did the Stan dream begin, and how did you end up on Superboy?
Actually, I wanted to draw. And I was fairly good at it, but certainly not professional level. It was the artwork. You know, when you see a movie and you're a child, you think, how could that have been done? It just seems like such a huge project that it's beyond the scope of a child. But when you see a page of a comic book, you go, I could draw that, or you think you can. So it's not quite as intimidating as a movie or a TV show. So that is how I related to it. Like, maybe I could draw like that someday. But then what happened is, around age 13, my friends with movie cameras, they started making movies, and then I started making movies, and I really enjoyed it. And almost by accident, I got into UCLA. I became a student there, and they have an incredible film department back then, really incredible, one of the top 3 in the country. So I became a writer, and then graduated, and it took about 10 years of day jobs and writing spec scripts before I could write for television. But then, just out of the blue, the folks who were producing Superboy were looking to make the show a little bit more adult. This was the second season had ended, and I guess they wanted to try to draw in an older audience, and they looked at my background, which was at adult cop shows, primetime stuff, and they said, well, just give me a try. They interviewed a lot of people. So.
It's such a super show. You know, as you know, I've already had several of the cast and crew members here, and I mean, man, just what an amazing time. Congrats again, Stan. So when you look back at the show, I'm not sure how long it's been since you've seen it, but I mean, what stands out? Do you have a favorite episode or a favorite scene?
Yes, actually there is. This might begin a much longer tangent, but one of our problems as a show was that the character of Superboy is not inherently interesting. He's just a good guy who does good stuff. You know, unlike Batman, he didn't have that trauma of seeing his parents murdered right in front of him. He's just a good farm boy. So that, combined with the fact that there are certain things he couldn't do, like he couldn't kill anyone, no matter how justified. In one of our shows, we had him switch brains with Lex Luthor, if you remember that one. There was another one where a petty thief happened to look like Gerard. And then that petty thief was required to man up and help Superboy do something good for once in the thief's life. And then early on, we came up with the idea of alternate dimensions. Now, as a child, I would read the comic books and go, wow, Superboy is so great. He should just be the king. He should be president. He should run the world because he's a great guy and he has all the power. But we were prevented from doing that in this world. So when we decided to do a story about alternate worlds, we met a Superboy who did kill someone. And Lex Luthor, in fact, of that world. And we saw what had happened to that world. People had become disillusioned. And then in another alternate world, we encountered a Superboy who had taken over and had become essentially, he was called the Sovereign, but he'd become a dictator. And that symbol that you're wearing on your chest had become almost as frightening to the people of that world as a swastika.
They hate me.
They don't hate you, Sovereign. They love you.
They don't deserve me.
So he was a petulant, childish dictator. And now, as in my old age, I look back on that and think, should I really have done that? Because I think it might have given people some ideas.
Well, I didn't see it that way. Growing up for me, regardless of how much I loved the character or the story, I knew that it was a show or a movie. And, if it makes you feel better, I always knew what right and wrong was. And, I just thought it was so cool that to see, even the heroes become, different characters at the time. But I always felt that the lesson learned was always, featured in a very positive way.
Well, you haven't convinced me. Seriously, to this day, I still worry that maybe there are some people in the audience, some kids, who thought, yeah, we should have a dictator.
It definitely wasn't me. How's that?
Thank God, thank God.
All of you inspire me and continue to inspire me. So, so after the show ended, for you personally, did you know that it was going to end? Were you already working on the next project? What happened?
For me, the job was to do 50 episodes. And once that was done, which was in June or July of 1991, we knew we'd be free after that. But what had happened was that after Superboy, I kind of thought, well, I could retire. I saved, And then right around that time, I met Tegan, who you were introduced to a little while ago. So I was seeing her. I didn't mind that I wasn't working. She didn't mind that I wasn't working. And then, so that was about a 2-year courtship from the time I met her to the time we got married. Almost the minute after we got married, I got hired to work on the animated Spider-Man show. Literally, we got back from the honeymoon, a very short honeymoon, and like, okay, you're going to work here. And I was working for Stan Lee, among other luminaries.
Wow, that's another epic show. I used to watch Spider-Man all the time. And even though I was younger, Spider-Man didn't always feel like a kid's show. My dad would watch it with me all the time.
A lot of the animation from that era was designed for kids, but also designed not to be so stupid that an adult would be able to watch it and not feel like his or her intelligence was insulted.
Yeah. Batman Beyond, that's another project that you worked on. And that show, loved that show. And again, even though I was younger, I always wondered, because Batman, obviously Batman was more grounded. He wasn't an actual, no superpowers, nothing like that. I always wondered what's going to happen when Batman gets older. What would an older Batman be? And love that show. Congrats again, man.
Yeah, Bruce is in Batman Beyond, he's a crusty old man. He's still angry, and then you kind of find out that he's still got it. He can still be Batman occasionally. But what I enjoyed writing most on that show was the interaction between the old man and a very young man who's kind of not quite ready to be Batman full time. So it was a fun interaction. I was sort of, at that time, I was sort of halfway between the two age groups, So I remembered what it was like to be very young, and I could kind of envision what it would be like to be old and crusty like Bruce.
So epic. Batman Beyond, Spider-Man, Superboy. You've worked on so many other projects. You're well-rounded in the superhero universe, and you've also got a book, Beyond the Bat. I'm almost done reading it. It's definitely an epic read. Half memoir, half how-to, right? And I feel like you don't even have to be a superhero fan. I feel like it's inspiring to anyone who has a dream or has a drive. I highly recommend it to everyone. How did that, when did you get the idea for the book?
Well, the book was written during COVID. Everything had just stopped because of COVID. So I'm sitting at home and I thought, well, I'll write some essays. And then my wife looked at one of them and said, oh yeah, why don't you just do a book? And because of Amazon and self-publishing, it's really, really easy. So I did it. Got help from a lot of friends and also a lot of encouragement. And then been going to conventions, the comic conventions. None in El Paso, unfortunately, but if I ever get to one, I'll go there. But been traveling around the country for the last year. But the best part, I think, is talking to people, a lot of whom talk a lot like you, in that, hey, I really enjoyed the show. It made a strong impression on me. Thank you. And that's a nice feeling to get, you know. Maybe one day I'll run into you in the flesh.
Absolutely. We'll make it happen. Looking forward to it. Mr. Stan, thank you so much for being here, sir. I really appreciate it. Super congrats to you and your wife on all your incredible work, talent, and success.
I'm very grateful that you interviewed me. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Guys, thank you so much for watching. Rewatch Superboy. It's an awesome show, awesome times, awesome cast. Rewatch Spider-Man, Batman Beyond. I will have a link in the description for Mr. Stan's book. Definitely check it out. Read, watch, enjoy. Thank you for watching. Thank you for believing. And we'll see you soon. Cheers.